A patient walks into the emergency room clutching his abdomen, sweating, restless, bent forward in pain, and the room instantly tightens. The nurse thinks gastritis. The junior doctor leans toward food poisoning, and yet something doesn't sit right. Hours later, the diagnosis shifts sharply to appendicitis with impending rupture, and suddenly everyone realizes the danger was there from the beginning, just misread. So, what actually caused the delay? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most students don't fail digestive system questions because they lack information. They fail because they don't know where the digestive system actually begins, ends, and how it functionally reorganizes itself across the body. Without that internal map, symptoms become disconnected fragments, and clinical logic collapses under pressure. Now, imagine a different way of seeing it, where you don't memorize organs as isolated facts, but instead visualize a continuous living pipeline from mouth to anus, structured by boundaries, regulated by checkpoints, and divided into functional zones that switch roles like a coordinated biological machine. That is the shift we are building here. Not memorization, but vision. By the end of this session, you will not just know the digestive system, you will be able to mentally reconstruct it as a single continuous clinical system. We will move through 3 interconnected layers that build this mental structure step by step. First, we define the boundaries, because every system must have limits. And here we clarify where digestion truly begins and where it definitively ends inside the human body. Then we move into the organs, not as a random list, but as a continuous anatomical pipeline supported by accessory structures that silently control every chemical transformation. Finally, we break down the functional divisions, where the system stops being anatomy and becomes process: ingestion, propulsion, digestion, absorption, and elimination, working in sequence like a coordinated biological program. By the end, the digestive system will no longer appear as scattered structures. It will appear as a single intelligent functional machine. The digestive system is often misunderstood as a collection of organs, but in reality, it is a continuous anatomical and functional tract extending from the mouth to the anus. This continuity is not just structural. It defines how nutrients move, transform, and exit the body in a regulated sequence. Anatomically, the superior boundary of the digestive system begins at the oral cavity, meaning the moment food enters the mouth, the system is officially engaged. From there, it continues through the pharynx and esophagus, which act as a transitional conduit guiding material downward without interruption. On the opposite end, the inferior boundary is defined by the anal canal, which serves as the controlled exit point of the entire system. What is clinically important is not just the start and end points, but the functional zoning in between. The upper boundary region, which includes the mouth, pharynx, and esophagus, acts as an entry and propulsion gateway where food is prepared and transported. The lower boundary region, which includes the rectum and anal canal, functions as a storage and regulated ensuring waste is expelled only when appropriate conditions are met. When you understand boundaries this way, you stop seeing organs and start seeing a structured biological corridor with defined entry, transit, and exit control systems. The digestive system is constructed from 2 integrated groups of structures that function together as one coordinated system. The first group is the alimentary canal, which forms the continuous tube through which food physically passes. The second group consists of the accessory organs, which do not carry food but are essential for chemical digestion and biochemical processing. The alimentary canal begins at the mouth, where food enters and initial mechanical breakdown occurs. From there, it passes through the pharynx, a shared pathway that directs food away from the respiratory system and then into the esophagus, which serves as a muscular transport tube using peristaltic waves to push food toward the stomach. The stomach then acts as a temporary storage and mixing chamber where mechanical churning and acidic digestion begin transforming food into semi-liquid chyme. From the stomach, material enters the small intestine, which is divided into the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, each segment contributing progressively to digestion and absorption. Finally, undigested material moves into the large intestine, passing through the cecum and colon where water is absorbed, then into the rectum for storage, and finally exits through the anal canal. Running alongside this pathway are the accessory organs, which are not part of the food passage, but are critical for digestion to occur efficiently. The salivary glands initiate chemical digestion by secreting enzymes that begin carbohydrate breakdown even before swallowing occurs. The liver produces bile, a substance essential for fat emulsification, while the gallbladder stores and concentrates this bile for controlled release. The pancreas contributes a powerful mix of digestive enzymes and bicarbonate, neutralizing acidic chyme and enabling enzymatic activity in the small intestine. When viewed together, the alimentary canal functions as the physical transport system, while the accessory organs function as the chemical engineering system that determines whether digestion succeeds or fails. Beyond structure, the digestive system operates as a sequence of functional phases that represent how the body processes food over time. These phases are not isolated events. They are continuous transitions that define the entire digestive journey. The process begins with ingestion, where food enters the oral cavity and is mechanically broken down through chewing, while saliva initiates enzymatic digestion. This is followed by propulsion, where swallowing moves the bolus into the esophagus, and peristaltic waves ensure its directed movement toward the stomach. Once food reaches the stomach and intestines, the system enters the digestion phase, where mechanical churning and chemical reactions break complex food molecules into simpler, absorbable forms. This is followed by absorption, which occurs primarily in the small intestine, where nutrients pass through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream and lymphatic system, entering systemic circulation for use by the body. Finally, the system enters elimination, where indigestible residues move into the large intestine. Water is reabsorbed, fecal matter is compacted, stored in the rectum, and eventually expelled through the anus in a controlled process. Each of these phases represents a functional transformation of the same material, moving from intake to elimination in a highly coordinated sequence. When we previously explored the abdominal cavity and organ positioning, it may have seemed like simple anatomical mapping, but now that context becomes critical because those spatial relationships are not random. They exist to support this exact functional flow. Every organ is positioned not just for location, but for efficiency in sequential digestion, making the abdomen a coordinated processing environment rather than just a cavity. A clinically experienced practitioner does not interpret digestive symptoms as isolated events. Instead, they mentally trace the failure back to a specific functional phase, whether ingestion, propulsion, digestion, absorption, or elimination. This single approach transforms vague abdominal complaints into structured diagnostic reasoning. The digestive system extends continuously from the mouth to the anus, forming a complete alimentary canal supported by accessory glands that enable chemical digestion. Structurally, it is divided into the alimentary canal and accessory organs, while functionally it operates through sequential phases of ingestion, propulsion, digestion, absorption, and elimination. In the next session, we move into the oral cavity as the true starting battlefield of digestion, where mechanical and chemical processes begin simultaneously. This is not just chewing, it is the first biochemical decision point that determines how efficiently the entire digestive system will function downstream. If this framework is clicking for you, make sure you've saved this series, because digestive physiology becomes effortless when you stop memorizing and start visualizing. Stay precise, keep sharpening your knowledge. I'll see you in the next deep dive. Elite Medic Nexus, where precision sharpens knowledge.